Hello, this is Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com, bringing you another edition of Keeping Modern Janky. This week we're trying out Tinybones in a rogue package with Obnixilis Captive Kingpin. We'll try it. I mean, this is our literal first game with the deck, so not exactly what we want to see. We'd rather see Tinybones or Ragavan in our opening hand. Oh, against Domain Zoo. It's going to go well for us. Pretty sure we're going to get there with all of our 1 damages before our opponent can kill us dead with whatever gigantic 2-drop creatures and 1-drop creatures are going to play. We do have this multiple ways of interacting. So Lightning Bolt can take care of some things like Commune with Spirits. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an enchantment or land card from among them and put it into your hand. So it's an Enchantress deck. Okay. Ooh, Kingpin, nice. Our removal might line up better with it, with an Enchantress deck. So let's see what her power and toughness is. Well, that's an enchantment, never mind. Our removal will probably line up worse if it's an enchantment deck, since we are Rakdos. So yeah, we're looking to abuse Vial Smasher, Gleeful Grenadier. It does 1 damage whenever an outlaw enters the battlefield in combination with Obnixilis Captive Kingpin. And the 4-drop slot, which is a little bit pricey, to ping our opponent like in an Aristocrat style fashion, grow our Obnixilis, get some card advantage, and along the way we have some of Modern's best threats. And so we'll just go ahead and run out this. I mean, they're going to gain a lot of life, I imagine, which puts them, our pinging strategy, to extreme test. But whenever another outlaw, oh man, he doesn't even ping him himself. Okay, well, 3/2 for 2 mana. That gets a slight clock. We have all this removal to back up, and we're drawing in lands, which gets us to Obnixilis. So yeah, I mean, we have some of Modern's best cards in Ragavan, Delthy Voidwalker, Thoughtseize, Fatal Push, Lightning Bolt, and we're playing the new Tinybones, which I'm pretty high on, think is pretty awesome. Comes Enchantress that we knew about. It's all colors. So now they can just go off, draw tons of cards. This is where we would love to draw an Orcish Bowmasters, and that's one of the best cards in Modern. Should be an interesting game at least. I mean, ooh, there's Tinybones. Yes. Doesn't have any permanents in the graveyard, or non-land permanents in the graveyard, but oh well. Okay, so we can do Cutthroat Tinybones. Get in some one pinging, start the pinging. Is it any target? No, just a target opponent. I have a feeling our opponent's like, that's fine, all of this is fine, we're going to have a huge turn. So there is some reason to wait on these creatures since we have Obnixilis, but we are not guaranteed to draw a land. We're playing 21 lands. And then we have to take almost a whole turn off with just removal, which I guess could line up with what our opponent's doing. But since they're an Enchantress deck, I imagine a lot of their permanents are going to be not dying to our removal spells right now. But anyway, the reasoning there to play Obnixilis, then that follow that up with 2 of these pings to grow him, but then that's basically taking 2 whole turns off and only hitting for 3. I'd rather grow a board and trust that we'll draw something, either a land to play Obnixilis and then into something else, or something to further our game plan. Okay, another Enchantress's presence. If they do run out creatures, at least we can kill them and then maybe take them with Tinybones. So yeah, he can, when he deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target non-land permanent card from that player's graveyard. And mana of any kind can be used to cast it. Alright, well that was pretty low impactful for our opponent. What do we draw? There's our Obnixilis. think we want to attack first, though, even though they may kill something. They don't have any non-land permanents in our graveyard. In their graveyard, excuse me. So Tinybones will get 0 triggers, but our opponent is down to 10. Oh, let's go ahead and run it out. I mean, I love Obnixilis, Captive Kingpin, and Commander. Let's see if he's going to be any good in Modern. Our opponent's going to be drawing tons of cards. Are they going to be able to draw enough cards to not die next turn? Because we do have 6 points of burn in our hand. I wonder if they have a... Oh, they're just surveilling. Digging for answers. And they may have something like Sphere of Safety, at which point it'd be really hard to get damage through. They're going to make a lot of mana. Abundant Growth, making more mana, drawing more cards. What we're really hoping for is that they don't do anything too crazy to stop our attacks, right? If we can get in one hit with Obnixilis, we can kill them with bolts. We don't want them to gain life, and we don't want them to... We want them to spend this turn with all of their mana and drawing cards, just setting up for another big turn next turn without a finisher, because they aren't... And they're going to make a lot of mana with Nykthos, but is it going to be enough to deal with what we're doing? And is it going to be enough to deal with enough of what we're doing that the bolts can't get there? Okay, we can probably just have 6 through this since we don't really have anything going on. Yeah, Orcish Bowmasters is going to be really good against our opponent's deck. I feel like they must have a way to nerf attacks, and they're digging for it or have it, and that's what we're afraid of. Or nerf. Just like even a Leyline of Sanctity. They're dead on board, though, so that's something. They're dead 2 ways if we can get in one attack, if we can get something through, right? The bolts get them to 3. We have 2 creatures that can do 3 damage. We have ways to drain if they do kill our board somehow. Guess I shouldn't have F6 just in case. Let's see what horror is coming for 8 mana with 8 cards in hand. How are we dying? How are we not dying? Ooh, Draco. Sign of Draco. That's good for them. How many do they have? So this is where I love the Aristocrat deck. Assuming we get to untap and attack. If they put down a whole bunch of blockers, we don't mind. If things die, we get to drain them into range of bolts. Man, I missed the Aristocrat strategy. I really hope this deck is competitive because I love that strategy. I mean, we may just want to not go all... I mean, we're on the Janky Rogue beats and Janky Rogue synergies with his Vial Smasher Gleeful Grenadier. Not rogues, sorry, outlaws, which include rogues, but it also includes pirates and assassins. Alright, it looks like we might be able to get an attack in. We can even double bolt the Scion of Draco. It has hexproof. Everything has hexproof right now, right? Yeah, they all have hexproof. Okay, so let's see if our opponent doesn't gain life. We should be able to get there. Unless I missed something, there was no One Ring played. So we're just going to go, let's see what they have. First Strike, Hexproof, Lifelink. Ooh, Lifelink, that is a problem. Trample and Vigilance. And this has Flying. First Strike is a problem. Alright, so we can put them to 3 with the bolts. They're going to gain up to 4 to 7. So they'll block here. And they'll go up to 13. They'll take 3, 4, 5, 6, 12. That's 12. 12 is not dead. This, yeah, that lifelink hexproof, that's a problem. What do we do? So the death touch isn't going to do anything. I think we just have to, it may be smart. Well, okay, so, alright, this is what we're going to do. We're going to attack with everyone, and then we'll see what happens, but I think we can even fatal push one of our own creatures to drain our opponent that last point of damage. Let's see what our opponent does. Should have played this land first. That was a mistake. So the reason why I should have played the land first is because when they go to gain life, I could fatal push the Obnixilis with drain them one and then bolt them the rest. I think we can still get there, but that's kind of a mistake. I can still actually bolt. So if I bolt him, he goes 3, 4, 5. I think that's fine. So 3, 4, 5, 6, they go to 3. I think there's more than one way to skin a cat here, but we'll bolt before damage. Unless my math is off. At which point we can always fatal push one of our own creatures. And lightning bolt for the win. Alright. I think we managed to cobble it together. Aristocrat style. My favorite type of deck. Short of dragons. Okay, so what do we want to bring in against this deck? We kind of have no answers to enchantments, right? We can bring in the rolling vortexes to help against the life gain. But we can bring in the molten collapses to deal with the big things. We didn't see any creatures though. I'm sure they play some. I mean, we did see the Nyx Reaver, so there is a reason to keep in our fatal pushes. I mean, that was really fun. That was the type of deck that aristocrats can shine against because they don't play a lot of interactions. So you get to set up your board and just hope it's good enough, and it was. So Tinybones. I don't know what to cut. Maybe we just trim. Go down an Obnixilis, a Ragavan, Tinybones. Thoughtseize could be really good. Fatal Push. Orcish Bowmaster seems like it's one of our best cards. Alright, well, I don't know. We're just going to trim one of each of our pieces and hopefully not water it down too much. Brotherhood's End could be good in the right spot, but I didn't see enough creatures to bring in a 3-mana sweeper that only hits Nyx Reaver. I'm sure there's one more in there that would hit, but... Alright, off to a good start with the Aristocrat deck. Oh, we have one of our best cards, and we have a Tinybones, and man, this is beautiful. Okay, definitely keeping. So we have turn 1 Tinybones. Turn 2, we can leave up. We can play Rolling Vortex, or we can play Bowmasters. Alright, they didn't have a ley line. So that's a nice thing for us. See if they surveil. Surveil a non-creature permanent into your graveyard, please. Oh, they left it on top. We have a little bit of removal with this Molten Collapse. And we have a Bloodstained Mire to trigger Descend. Another Bowmasters is good. So we'd like to hit a land at some point here. Alright, Tinybones. The Pickpocket. Let's see how you do. So far you got us no value other than a couple of hits and 2 points of damage, so to speak. And no extra cards. But the Death Touch always trades up. Unless it's First Strike, which we saw they have, which was... So they does not always trade up. Is this going to be something we want to kill? Is it a Nyx Weaver? They don't have anything in the graveyard. So yeah, Tinybones, I think, is at its best when, let's say we draw a Lightning Bolt, and we wouldn't be able to cast it. Yeah, that is a creature. So they are playing more. I knew they have more creatures in this type of deck, we just didn't see any. And there's some life gain. So that's going to have to die. It's best when you get the hit in. You kill it, get the hit in, and able to cast it. Another Bowmasters. Okay, now I know what it feels like to be most Rakdos decks. You just keep drawing Bowmasters. It's fine. I kind of want to just... we have to run this out. I was going to say, I kind of want to save the Descent, but we need to do something, and we only have the 2 lands, so we're going to have to... Alright, first answer, life gain, enchantment, card draw answered. Now we can cast it ourselves next turn if they don't follow that up with a creature to block. Not sure if we want to, but this Rolling Vortex would gain us a life and draw us a card, right? These Bowmasters, though, will... I don't know why. I don't think I should have clicked that, actually. Let's see. Stop yielding. Because it's always going to target that, I believe. Anyway, these Bowmasters would end up negating all the life gain, and just the card draw. Fine, draw your cards. You're going to be taking 2, 3 a turn. So yeah, making a land drop here would be good for us. Utopia Sprawl, good for them. Do they have a blocker? Exile all graveyards. Okay, so Tinybones is no longer with us. And then it nerfs the death triggers. Okay, well, sorry Tinybones, you've been hated out of this game. You're now just a 1/1. Right on time, Zulaport Cutthroat, right on time. Does black, do we want to have any sort of enchantment hate in our mind? In this, I mean, we're not, while we're in an Aristocrat deck, we are not all in on the death triggers by a long shot, right? Vial Smasher, for instance, doesn't care about death. It's really just Zulaport Cutthroat that cares. Bowmasters don't care. Our opponent's going to be very, very salty and sad when we do double, triple Bowmaster. Feels good to be on the casting end of Bowmasters for a change. I've lost to Bowmasters so many times. They've killed so many of my 1-drops. I think we're just going to be all in on the Bowmaster plan, to be honest. We really want to hit another red source, though. Maybe we take a turn off to play Rolling Vortex. But now they're about to draw a bunch of cards. So I think this is the turn we don't want to take it off. We want to hit another red source so that we can do Bowmaster's Rolling Vortex in the same turn. Alright. I mean, this Bowmasters is going to do work. Because every card they draw, extra. And then we're going to do another one after they cast their first enchantment. And it will probably make our opponent very sad unless they have an answer. Do you imagine they must bring in something to answer Bowmasters, right? We have gotten very lucky in these practice games yesterday morning and today. I mean, we have some of our... We saw the sweet synergies last game. This game we have one of our best cards against this strategy. And now the pain really begins. Then we're going to grow a massive orcish army unless they have an answer. Kill them next turn, it looks like. And that's, I mean, there's plenty of answers. I just don't know what Enchantress plays to deal with this many Bowmasters. We would love to hit a red source to roll out this rolling vortex and to hold it up for any sort of life gain shenanigans they may have. Yep. Keep casting those enchantments. That's your game plan. Whoops. Let's see. Choose any. Oh, I guess I could just kill their enchantment weaver, right? That's probably what we should have done, but I'm going to just go face. Put them in a position where they have to block anyway to not die. See, Leyline of Sanctity would have been better for them than Rest in Peace. Well, maybe they still have it. Maybe that's what they're going to end up. Kill spell for the... Yeah, we should have killed the Sanctum Weaver. They'd been at 11. 1, 7, 8, 9. Well, this is going to buy them a whole nother turn. And then maybe some red source. Thoughtseize. Just, I mean, we have such a, there's another Rest in Peace, Prosperity. Leyline Binding, oh, it's just Leyline Binding. Yeah, we gotta get rid of that for sure. Oh, Leyline Binding, not, oh, it's Leyline of Sanctity is what I thought that was for some reason. Okay, well, maybe let's see what else we could have taken. Enchantress's Presence. Yeah, we took the right card no matter what. Alright, so then we're going to put them down to 6. And I think they're just going to die to Bowmaster triggers next turn when we flash in our third one. And hopefully our opponent won't be too salty. Sorry, opponent, I know what it's like to see your opponent casting 3 Bowmasters in a game and winning on the backs of just a single card. This is just very lucky for us. So now we can just trigger that. They're going to go. We might just then take a turn to kill the 2 toughness creature with these triggers next. And when they draw their next card. Or we just... And they scoop it up. Yeah, I mean, that's really unlucky. Vengaza and us, like, we got super lucky with our draw. But hey, we got our first match win with our new Tinybones Aristocrat deck. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. This is Johnny Cycles from CyclesGaming.com. I'll catch y'all on the next one. This has been another edition of Keeping Modern Janky with Johnny Cycles. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out my website, CyclesGaming.com, for original Magic the Gathering content. You can read about my Commander decks or my Janky Modern brews. My latest article is about the Zombie Pre-Con and its effect on Commander. I give you a couple different deck lists. If you're interested in a science fiction / fantasy novel, be sure to check out my book, The Podcon. I'm publishing it serially, a couple chapters every month. Again, thanks for watching. Check me out on YouTube, Johnny Cycles. Click that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll catch you on the next one.